For years, Grace and Katie were simply my two girls. I never imagined I'd one day watch them become big sisters.
You're so soft. You're like a brand new girly.
I've had them since I was still a teenager, which means they've been there through almost every chapter of my life. They knew me before I became a wife, before I became a mother, and long before our daughter Claire was ever here. Looking back now, it's hard to remember a version of my life that didn't include them because they've never just been pets. They've always been part of who I am. Every morning in our house begins exactly the same way. My husband is usually the first one awake, and somehow the girls always know. Katie immediately rushes over because she refuses to start her day without saying good morning to her favorite person. Then Grace slowly makes her way over too. She's our sweet blind old lady now. She doesn't rush anymore, but she still wants her turn. They've been Daddy's girls for years, and somehow watching them never gets old.
Oh my gosh, stretching girlies.
It doesn't matter if my husband has been gone for 8 hours or 8 minutes.
Okay.
To them, every reunion is worth celebrating. Katie gets excited instantly, while Grace calmly waits nearby before joining in too. Sometimes I stop and simply watch because I know these ordinary moments won't last forever. They remind me that some of the best parts of life are the ones we never think to hold on to until years have already passed.
Oh my god. Is this not the sweetest thing in the world?
Grace and Katie couldn't be more different. Katie has always been obsessed with her big sister. She follows Grace everywhere and somehow always wants to be involved in whatever she's doing. Grace, on the other hand, has always had a gentle, peaceful energy about her. Even though she's blind, she somehow always knows exactly where her family is. And every now and then she'll let her serious older sister personality disappear and play along with Katie for a moment. Before I knew it, years had passed. Katie was still following Grace around the house. Grace was still pretending she didn't enjoy all the attention. My husband was still being greeted like a hero every time he walked through the door. Somewhere between all those tiny moments, we built a family. We weren't doing anything extraordinary. We were simply living life together, one ordinary day at a time, and somehow those ordinary days became some of the most meaningful ones.
Good morning, girls. Hi, Katie. Hi, Sugar. Grace over here.
Hey, sugar.
Oh my gosh. Hi, baby.
Then, life surprised us once again. I found out I was pregnant. I was overwhelmed with happiness, but underneath all that excitement was fear. Grace and Katie had been our babies for so many years. How would they react when another tiny person suddenly entered our world? More than anything, I didn't want them to feel forgotten. They had been part of every chapter of our lives, and I wanted them to know that wasn't about to change.
No, that's a Grace lady. There's no denying the Grace lady. She's too tiny.
Oh, Grace, are you going to teach us how to change a diaper? Okay, you clean the bag, and then you put the diaper on.
But almost immediately, something incredible happened. Grace seemed to understand before anyone else did. She became softer and more attentive around me. As we decorated the nursery, we invited both girls inside so they could be part of it too. They sniffed the blankets, inspected the tiny clothes, and sometimes rested beside me while the baby kicked. Little by little, my fears disappeared. We weren't asking them to make room for someone new. We were introducing them to their little sister.
What better place to take a nap than on your mommy?
Then came the day we brought Claire home from the hospital. I remember feeling nervous opening that front door, but every worry disappeared within seconds. There was no jealousy, no hesitation, and no confusion. They simply accepted her. It felt as though they already knew exactly who she was, as if she'd always been part of our family and we were only just bringing her home.
Teach her how to roll over.
She needs your help.
That's when I realized something beautiful. For years, I thought I was simply watching Grace and Katie grow old with me. That wasn't the whole story. I was watching them become big sisters too. Somewhere along the way, these two girls had quietly taught me how to love, how to be patient, and how to care for another life long before I ever held Claire in my arms.
Grace, what do you think of your sister? She loves you. Do you love her? Careful.
Today, my favorite thing to do is simply sit back and watch them together. Katie still wants to be involved in everything. Grace still quietly watches over everyone in her own gentle way. And somehow, after all these years, they're still Daddy's girls too. Sometimes I look around our house and realize the family we dreamed of has been here all along.
You're so soft. You're like a brand new girly.
It just kept growing, one ordinary day at a time. One day, Claire will understand that Grace and Katie were never just pets. They were her first protectors, her first best friends, and some of the first hearts that loved her before she could even speak. And if this story touched your heart, we'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe so you can continue following our journey together.
Ah, jump on me.
Grace loves her mom. Oh, God. I can't stop staring at it. You see the lines and the flowers?